Hey everybody, it's Marie-France Garon here. I am with Heather Billing. Hi Heather.
Hi.
Hey, today we're gonna talk about fasting because Heather and I we have been together in the wellness industry for more than 25 years. And Heather has a strong passion for hormone, but more recently, in the recent years, we developed this new passion for fasting because we've experienced it ourselves, and now we started sharing with others and see that there's so many benefits. Of course, it's good for weight loss, but there's so many more other health benefits also about fasting. So here today, we'll share just a little bit of information with you all and how to incorporate it in our program, the 5 Day Slim Down. So, Heather, so just give us, please, a little quick overview about the benefits of fasting and why did we decide to incorporate it in our 5 Day Slim Down program.
Thank you, Marie-France. Yes, fasting is quite amazing, as we've come to discover for ourselves. And initially, as you mentioned, we were looking at using it for weight loss, which we have done with success. And then the more we learnt about the additional benefits that we actually get from fasting, the more excited I guess we got, because we're like, wow, this is amazing. It's something we can do for our bodies, which is free. And the healing benefits of fasting are really quite extraordinary. And so, of course, we're not going to go into a whole heap of detail today, but just to give you a little bit of an idea of what's happening to your body when you're restricting the time that you're eating. And so, because the food is not actually coming into our digestive system, the digestive system is actually freed up to do a lot of healing of its own, which is a lot of our health comes from our gut. And there's lots of studies showing the connection between our gut and our brain. And so because our body is not digesting the food, it's starting to look around for ways to heal. So it will heal things that we have going on in our gut, our digestive system. It will look at the microbes that are in there. It'll get rid of ones that aren't serving us. There's microbes in our gut that help, make us crave sugar, or those types of things. And so it will clean up that system because it's not actually having to deal with digesting food. Some of the other benefits, of course, and in relation to healing the gut, then that comes up to our brain and the fact that we may have experienced in the past foggy thinking, or not the inability to be able to remember things. So some people find that actually improves a great deal. There's just a lot more clarity in their thinking. And so that's, and then of course, which gets really interesting, is then we start looking at all the neurotransmitters that are in our brain, which produce things like serotonin and dopamine and all those good hormones that get produced that actually make us feel good. And as we start to clean up our system, then we can start to produce more of these as well. And we've noticed in just the people in our group as well, Marie-France, how that some of their inflammation issues have gone away. Their pain in their joints has gone away. So it really does give the body an opportunity to start looking at other areas where that healing can take place. So we're excited about it. It's part of our program. Not only does it help you lose weight, but it also helps with the healing.
And Heather, how about someone that finds it really scary to say not to have breakfast? And of course, they can start just gradually. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So totally understand people that are like that, who've never come across fasting before, who, some people have, used to snacking perhaps before going to bed. So they're maybe eating right up until they go to bed, and then they jump out of bed, and then the first thing they do is they start eating again. And so if you're in that kind of cycle, the thought of actually potentially delaying when you eat, when you get out of bed, can be like, I'm going to be so hungry. How am I going to manage? I'm one of these people that has to eat as soon as I get up, or I get a headache. So, there's lots of things that go on when we experience this new concept that we're talking about with fasting. So, what we're actually suggesting for those who have concerns and want to actually start off gradually is that initially you might just push out, you might stop eating. You make sure you stop eating after dinner, no night snacks. So that, starts your fasting from the night before, and then you've got all that time that you're sleeping, so that's added to it as well. And then maybe when you get up in the morning, you just push out your breakfast for 15 minutes, half an hour, and then you actually have something to eat. And just gradually increase it over the week, and so that you get to a point where in our program we're suggesting that you're actually fasting for 16 hours. And so that's obviously including all the time we're asleep, the little bit of time, we have after dinner, and then a few hours in the morning as well. So that is something that you can build yourself up to. And what we have found, Marie-France, I'm sure you'll agree, is that it does get easier. It's like anything. It's like, you go to the gym, you start lifting weights, and that first day it's so heavy and it hurts so much, and you're like, oh, how am I going to ever come back? And then you go back and it gets a little bit easier every time as you build up that endurance and stamina. So that's the way to look at it. If you're never done anything like this before, you sort of think that it's overwhelming, is just to gradually ease yourself into it. And just on that, of course, just realise that the results that you get may be a little bit slower because you're building yourself up to the 16 hours.
Exactly, Heather. For myself, where I find it the most difficult is in the evening. I go to bed quite late, and sometimes very, very late. So, and I'm sitting right here at this desk, and the fridge is not far. And I'm thinking I've got this or I've got that. But yeah, that's where for me. But of course, we just resist. I try to keep busy. That's one thing, and also I drink lots of water. But I also make a cup of tea just for a change. Uh, because like a green tea, or in the evening it'll be a chamomile tea, and I continue to fill it up all the time and continue to drink it. So that keeps me more busy. Uh, However, in the morning, since I've been doing fasting, I'm just not hungry. I can just wait a little bit longer. Oh, it should be time, and then just wait a little bit longer, and it becomes, yeah, as you said, it does becomes easier with time. And eating breakfast might be just a habit. Like you have to ask yourself, am I really hungry? Or I'm just, yeah? And very often we eat because it's time to eat, not because we're hungry. So listen to your body a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now, also, Heather, in within our program, we do the 16-8.
Yeah.
That's what we recommend, and we stick to that. If you can get up to 16-hour fasting, that would be amazing. But also, we are learning that to vary your time of fasting, it can have some really good benefits too. So, can you please share with us about it, Heather?
Yeah, so there's a few different lengths of fast that I'll just mention, and just their benefits. So, um, just to give you an idea, for those of you who have been fasting with our program for a while, just to kind of get you thinking, as you said, Marie-France, now you're not even really that hungry in the mornings, and so you can sort of stretch it a little bit longer. And you might be thinking, well, are there any benefits to stretching it? And there most certainly are benefits to stretching it. And so that's kind of what we want to just give you the ideas today, so that you can kind of think about it, and then at the end we've got just something special that we thought we can definitely organise. So I want to mention first of all, so there's fasting that you do from 17 hours, so an extra hour than what we're suggesting in our program, up to 72 hours, which of course is a very long time. But what actually happens in the body during that time, and it obviously happens from 17, so if you do 17 hours, if you do 18 hours fasting, you do 19 hours fasting, you're switching this on in your body. So it's giving you an idea that it's happening regardless. We're not expecting you, obviously, to do 72 hours. But what that particular process is it's called autophagy fasting. Now, that's a big word. What does it actually mean? So what the body actually does is that it starts to look around, and I think this is really exciting. It looks around the body and looks at the cells that maybe are old, that aren't functioning as well as they could be, that may contain viruses or bacteria. And it sort of, has an intelligent look around and says, that one is not serving me, and that one is not doing what it should be, and that one is too old. So it goes through and actually helps to clean up our cells. It's a bit of like a spring cleaning, I guess, like you lift up something from the corner and you go, oh, there's a lot of dust under there. So that's kind of what it's doing. It's looking around for things that it can clean up. And so what it actually does in our body is it's a detox. So it helps to detox our system. And of course, this is also happening in our brain. It's throughout the body, so it can improve brain function and memory and cognition. It's something that will actually help us prevent a cold as well, because it's actually looking for viruses and bacteria. And the other great thing that it does when it comes to our hormones, which is, our progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, our sex hormones, it helps to balance those out. So for people that, may be having PMS symptoms, perimenopause, menopausal symptoms, getting into the slightly longer fast will actually help with the whole hormonal system as well. So that's that one. But you can just kind of see, I hope that you can see how that we're kind of excited about these different fasts because of what it is doing in the body. Like this is a whole world that I never knew existed. Like I know a lot about health and I know things that we can do for our health, but I never really knew a lot about fasting and the benefits to the body. So the next one that I want to mention is a gut reset, which happens at 24 hours plus. So how this one works is that, potentially can work however it fits into your schedule, but how we've both used at Murray France, I believe, is that we have dinner last night and then we go all of today and then we eat dinner tonight. So we go the 24 hours. And the benefit of this particular one is that it really is a gut reset. So what happens is that because we're going for this length of time with no food in the system, the body is looking around and saying, okay, what can I do now to repair? We actually get a burst of stem cells. Now, stem cells are a big buzz thing out there in the big wide world because people will actually have stem cell injections to heal an injury, for anti-aging, like there's all these benefits where that they will have them injected into their bodies. But lo and behold, fasting will actually produce them in our bodies ourselves. And so the stem cells get released and they start repairing the mucosal lining in our gut, which potentially could be damaged from years of inflammation. And so things that damage our gut, of course, is, toxic foods, toxins in general, But, cases of if we've had a lot of antibiotics in our life, if we've been on birth control pills, medication, those types of things will actually interfere with the gut. So these stem cells get released and they start healing the gut, which is pretty exciting. So 90% of the microbes that are in our body live in our gut. So just thinking about that, like the healing that goes on, and as we have maybe learnt before, how important the gut is in connection to our immune system. So it will help to really stimulate our immune system, and then also we've mentioned as well the connection between the gut and the brain, and the neurotransmitters that are produced by the brain when our gut is healthy, and will help us to be happy and calm and focused. And so it really is a great fast to actually do. Some people may have experienced where that they have bacterial overgrowth in the intestines as well, and so this is something that will actually help to address that.
Oh, wow. This is pretty amazing. And I suppose also it's a great idea, Heather, for those of us that are experiencing a bit of plateauing on our weight loss, and you're doing all the right thing. It happens this week, someone was posting about, like, I've waited the whole week and then I'd step on the scale and it's just the same as it was. So it's a bit frustrating, of course, but maintaining is pretty amazing too. I keep saying that maintaining is an achievement. However, maybe a little gut reset, a little 24-hour fast would really help to kickstart again. Yes?
Yes, definitely. And I just want to mention there too, Marie-France, that when we look at the scales and they haven't moved, we've got no idea of what else has happened in our bodies. So, like, as much as the goal is, weight loss, why isn't the scale moving? Just think about what your body is doing as well on levels that, like, because we're talking about cellular levels, we've got no idea what is actually going on. And, we're so much in a culture where food is abundant, in our cultures anyway. Food is abundant, there's plenty of it. We don't even have to go out and get it ourselves. We can just pick up our phone and someone can knock on the door with food. So, we have an abundance of food, and most of us have been in this mindset of, eating all the time, because we've felt that we needed to, that, if we don't eat, that it's going to, our metabolism is going to go out of whack, or, so there's all these things that we've believed about food. And when we actually have a period of time where we restrict it, then the body can do some amazing things, as I've said. But yes, definitely this could be something that you could do to sort of get you a little bit unstuck. If you feel like you want to just mix things up a little bit, because we have had people, of course, that have been doing our program now for quite a few months, and if they just want to try something different and just see how that works for them, which leads me into the next one, which is the fat burner fast, which is a 36-hour fast. So this, again, is one that if people are finding that they're kind of stuck, they're a bit at a plateau, nothing much is changing, then actually doing a 36-hour fast is called the fat burner, because what actually happens for this period of time is that the body starts looking, which I love this analogy, it starts looking for stored sugar that it's stored maybe years ago in our tissues, in our liver, like in our organs, because it hasn't been able to, because there's been all this food coming in, and it the cells are just can't take any more in, so then it thinks, oh, well, I'll store that in the liver, or I'll store that on your hips, so I can use it for another time. So when we're restricting our eating for 36 hours, that's when the body really starts to, and this is obviously, this is happening with our 16-hour fast too. I don't want to take anything away from that. The body is looking at burning that stored, sugar, but this is happening in a greater level. So it's looking for those storage places that, like it was that dusty old cupboard that, years ago you put something up there and you forgot all about it. And so the body is now, opening up that cupboard and going, oh, I need some energy. Where will I get that from? Oh, there was this, thing that was stored up here from, that big, donut feast that you had so many years ago. I'll grab that out and I'll burn it for energy, because that's what the body does. Uh, it is. It's really fascinating, like I really geek out on this, and apologies for those that don't sort of geek out as much as me, but I just find it's understanding how the body works, I think, makes it fascinating, but it also helps you to be committed to your health when you actually know what's going on. Um, so the other thing, of course, with the 36-hour is that for any people that have cholesterol issues, this one is really, really good for helping to reduce cholesterol levels, because cholesterol is actually made in the liver, and from, high influxes of sugar and inflammatory fats, like the bad fats that we talk about, the ones that we don't have in our program, the toxins we're exposed to and all those kind of things, they actually elevate our cholesterol levels. And so with a 36-hour fast, this actually forces the liver to start releasing and start healing and getting rid of the toxins and the build-up. And so it can actually help people with their cholesterol levels as well.
Wow, incredible. Heather, now we've talked about 16-8, which is part of the program. And again, you just said it that, like if you're a beginner here and you've not done fasting, start with 13, 14 hours, build up to 16. Yep. Yeah, that's perfect. And then look at a little bit of extra, but varying your length of fasting is important as well, just changing it around a little bit. But what you didn't mention yet is about maybe there's a time of the month that is better not to fast very much, shorter time. Yes. Tell us about that.
Yes. Yeah, so basically women that are menopause or post-menopause and men can just fast all the time as much as they like, for as long as they like, and there's it's not so much an issue. Having said that, though, there are some strategies for menopausal women as well, just to do some variations. But men seem to be able to just, do it because their bodies work differently from ours. Their main hormone, of course, is testosterone, and testosterone responds very well to fasting. And if we think about our ancestors, it was the men that were the hunters, and so they probably, well, we all did, but they in particular would go long periods without food, and then they would do some, rapid exercise, and they'd go and chase the beast. And so their body actually responds very well to fasting. But for us women, and for those who still have a cycle, it is really important, because fasting is really intertwined with our hormone levels and the hormones that our body produces. And some hormones in our body don't like fasting at all. And so when we fast, when they are supposed to be produced in our cycle, the body goes, hey, what's going on? And they get very shy. And so they don't appear. And then, of course, that plays a little bit of havoc with our cycle. So with just to really generalize it, with people that still have a cycle, the 7 days before your period is due to start, it's recommended that the maximum amount of hours that you're actually fasting is probably 13 would be the maximum. So that's, for some people, might be no fasting at all. You have dinner, then you have breakfast, that sort of thing, because that is when progesterone is being released in our body. And progesterone wants us not to fast. It wants us to have a few more of nature's carbs, like your sweet potatoes is a great example, like those foods that are on our, like our lifestyle side of the program. They're the foods that you would lean into in that week before your period, because we want to raise our carbs a little bit more than we normally would. That's why, you might experience that you feel like having, carbs, chocolate, that sort of thing before your cycle comes in, because that's progesterone telling you these are the things I need to produce the hormone. Dark chocolate is fantastic that week before your period because it's got magnesium in it, and it's also very good for the neurochemicals in our brain as well. So that week before your period, no fasting. Look more at the lifestyle side of our program with the foods that you eat, and it will really make a difference. Now, also switching up the fasting lengths will help with menopausal and postmenopausal women as well, because depending on how long you're fasting, that's how the hormones respond in your body. But that's probably another topic, Marie-France.
Yes, I mean, there's so much to share about fasting, and we can, deep dive into each different little pockets very much. So, yes, we'll keep some for the next time. But in finishing, Heather, I think we would like to throw a little challenge at everyone here listening to this and see if you're ready. If you're ready to do together a 24-hour fast together with us, that would be really a lot of fun to be able to do it together. It's like a body system. It always works better when we do it together. So we're just throwing this challenge here and see who would be interested. Put your hand up, put a message in the comment here, and if you're willing to have a try at the 24-hour fast, then we can do that, organize to do that together. Heather, what do you think?
Yes, definitely. And we want to do it and provide heaps of support for people as part of that. Obviously, as Marie-France said, we'll do it as a community. So we'll have a group of people all doing it together, but we will set you up so that before we even start, we've got some great suggestions for you of how to prepare for going into that longer fast, and have an opportunity for you to, ask questions. And then, of course, the important thing is to look at, as we do some of these longer fasts, is what's some of the first things you eat when you have done your 24 hours. Because if you think of the body being without food for that long, the digestive system being without food for that long, we want to gradually come back in afterwards gently. Like, we don't want to stomp through
Yeah.
and destroy all our, we don't want to stomp through and, destroy all the hard work that we've just put in. So that's our idea. We want to provide lots of support around it and go through it together. So we'll work out when we're actually going to do the 24 hours, because then once you've done it once, of course, then you feel more confident to be able to do it more often.
Yep.
And as we've already mentioned, it does get easier. So we wanted to just put that out there for anyone that's interested to try it with us and to do it together as a community, so you don't have to feel like you're all alone and you're hungry or bored or whatever, all by yourself. That we're all in it together.
Exactly. And of course, depending of when are you watching this video, because this will be available for a long time. So you can write a message in the comment of this video, but also maybe it's a great idea to reach out to the person that invited you in the group, or to Heather or myself, and let us know that you would like to participate. Maybe this is something we're going to do ongoing once in a while together, and see how we, what success we have and how many people want to participate. So, yeah, we can't wait to hear from you and see who's going to put their hand up. That's going to be exciting. But we're going to conclude this video here with you. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you have any questions about what was shared today, again, comment here in the video or reach out to us. We are here to support you. We do this together. And of course, together is much more fun and more success as well. And
Yep.
so thank you so much, Heather, for your amazing sharing today. Very, very informative. I got a little bit excited again, and so can't wait to do the 24 hours together as well.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
All
It's
right.
gonna.
Well, thanks a lot, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you,
Bye
Heather.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.